Good morning, YouTube. This is MegaManZero88 here, and today I am bringing you footage straight from the Division 2 closed beta. I messed around with the beta for about a good hour or so, and in the process of doing so, I collected enough data, in my own words, of course, and pretty much was messing around with some of the stuff that was featured in that first hour of me messing with the closed beta. But let's start with the first thing I wanted to talk about, which is the settlements. Now, the settlements. They added a new, I guess you could say, a new take on the safe house system that was pretty much implemented in the first game. I guess you could say in a way that these settlements act as a secondary safe house on top of the safe houses that you do find in the game. The settlements also provide you with site missions and a lot of projects that you can do to complete to increase the overall living conditions within that settlement, to basically give you a lot more gear in the process of doing so as well. And also in that solid hour, of course, that I was messing around and I was pretty much taking in everything that the game had to offer me. I noticed that we were running around, we were collecting, of course, the Division Tech, which they decided to dub the name Shade Tech instead, but even though it's pretty much the Division Tech. Either way it goes, we were messing around with that. We were collecting Shade Tech. We were basically messing around with checkpoints, and these checkpoints act as a second or first line of defense that is right outside of the settlements, of course. In doing so, completing these checkpoints and liberating these checkpoints from the enemy, you are able to provide that first line of defense. And then after you're doing that and you're liberated the checkpoint, of course, the civilians, or the rebels, as I like to call them, after you've helped them liberate that area, they go on to pretty much let you know that they are going to need supplies if they are going to continue to defend that spot with the best of their abilities, which is cool. They're basically acting as a second line of defense outside of the settlements, which is a good thing. Another thing I want to point out too was in the first game, the civilians were not really fighting back in a way. So it was kind of nice to see that you actually saw people taking a stand and they were fighting back in the Division 2. So pretty much the entire time that I was basically running around and I was, looting and shooting and doing all sorts of stuff, it was always said, like every 5 minutes or so, I was always saying that it's pretty cool that you see the civilians, that they are fighting back and they're basically doing their part to liberate their city and take it back from these guys that are trying to take control and all this mess that's going on right now. So that was pretty cool. Another thing I want to point out too was the gunplay. Now, the gunplay would have been the first thing on my list, but I decided, I wanted to save the best for last. I wanted to pretty much, let my thoughts be heard on the gunplay. Now, the gunplay compared to the first game, the gunplay on this game, it seems like it's going to be a lot more different in a way, but not so much. It's basically the same thing. I guess you could say the guns are a lot more smoother. They're a lot more, I guess you could say, deadlier. You are going to see a lot of the same guns that you saw in the Division 1, so that's something to kind of keep an eye out for. Another thing I want to go into as well is the skills. The skills, which is pretty interesting, that you're not upgrading your skills as you're out and about. You do get new skills by checking in with the quartermaster at the base of operations. That's a new thing that I kind of noticed when I was playing the beta. So I guess you could say it's something that I'll have to get used to. So if I unlock new skills, I'll have to check in with the quartermaster every single time, and then I can set them up from that point on once I do unlock set skills. Now, with all that being said, my first impressions of Division 2, it's going to be slightly different from the first game. Not so much, but it's pretty much slightly more different. So that's something new to pretty much take with my first impressions of Division 2. But then again, these are just my thoughts. What are you guys thinking as far as the Division 2? Do you guys think it's going to be better than the first game? Do you think it's not going to be better than the first game? And if you really feel this way, like I said, just leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, and don't forget to hit the little bell, because I will be uploading more content as the months roll on. I do have a lot of content that I do plan to try to collect and put out for you guys as far as the Division goes. And then let's not forget that we do also have Devil May Cry 5 that is dropping next month as well, next to the Division 2. But then again, hey, I guess you could say we got so many games coming out this year. It's so unfair. But anyway, guys, that is it for me. This is MegaManZero signing out, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.